Yes, hello. My name is Dominic. This is United Sauce and Wingers, the Monday Night Sauce Show. Thank you so much for joining us. Today, we are going to end the Bruno Fernandes debate. Is he good? Is he okay? Has he saved us? Is he world class? Does he lose the ball? We're going to discuss this because this madness needs to end tonight. Sean, let's go, baby. Let's go.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Again, I'm Dominic. This is United Sauce and Wingers, and you're joining us for the Monday Night Sauce Show. Every Monday at 7 p.m., join myself and Sean, where we talk about the biggest news at this point in time. Today, this stream will talk about Bruno Fernandes, the Magnifico. There's so much going on about this guy. Basically, who saved us. Is he good? Is he okay? Does he drop off in the big games? Have we overhyped him too much? Like, do we rely on him too much? Is he a GOAT? Is he like the greatest of all time? Could he be? There's so many division within the fans and different things. Some people think he's untouchable. We're going to discuss these points and we're going to back it up with facts and stats as well, because that's what we do on the Monday Night Sauce Show, don't we, Sean?
That's what we do, man. It's all about the facts. It's all about the analysis. And, man, Bruno's been getting a lot of heat, so we're going to drill into it.
Yes, we are 100%. If you're watching new, please subscribe. It really helps us. We're just two Man United fans sitting in our rooms, streaming with some internet connection and having some fun talking about our team. So join us, like the video as well. It really helps us. We also want to get to 20 likes. But let's get straight into it, Sean. On the back of a how can I say this? We drew to Liverpool, right? And it's still there. It was only yesterday, right? It was yesterday.
I'm sure it was yesterday.
It feels like ages ago now. I don't know why. Just like all these games are coming thick and fast.
So many games.
Yeah, so many games. But obviously, we had our previous match reaction. If you haven't watched that, guys, check that out. Check out the match reaction for the big game yesterday against Liverpool. We had four of us Man United fans, all with different opinions, and we also had a Liverpool fan join us as well. And we dissected the game and really got to the crux of: is this a good point considering we were playing the champions, but is it a bad point because they had two centre backs and our progression should have been faster? So to find out what we actually decided, check out that video. But I still feel like we're in a situation where we are on a progression, and I still feel happy that we are in a situation where we're still at the top of the table. I know Man City are just behind us, but we're in a good road. And imagine what we could do, right? If Ollie's done this and taken away all the dead wood and all the stuff like that, imagine what we could do in a year's time, Sean. Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to concentrate on.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Because, like, again, I was saying it last night on the reaction. It's like, go back, just place yourself as a Man United fan. Just place yourself back to 12 months ago, this day.
Yeah.
Right. We hadn't even signed Bruno yet. We were just losing to Burnley at home 2-0.
Yeah.
People were screaming for Solskjaer out. The world is going to end.
Oh my
Man
gosh,
United
are
so rubbish. It was toxic.
Yeah,
it was toxic, and there was not many. I was in the minority group that were like, no, trust the process. Ollie knows what he's doing. He's shipping out Sanchez. He's shipping out Lukaku. He's clearing out the deadwood, draining the swamp. You need to give the man time, right, to do that. You can't have sustained success built overnight. Fast forward now 12 months. Could you ever imagine us finishing the season the way we did, going on that amazing run? Mason Greenwood coming to the forefront, banging goals for fun.
Man.
Yeah, scoring goals for fun. That front three looked dangerous, and we ended up getting third, Dom. Just let that sink in, right? Because at the start of that season, I remember a lot of the pundits, even a lot of our own fan base was like, when we sold Lukaku and didn't bring anyone in, they're like, what are we going to do? We got no goals. Where are our goals going to come from? The season's over before it's even started, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ollie got us into third place. Now, fast forward another 6 months, right? Look where we're at now. Top of the league, 3 points clear. Who would have said that at the start of the season? Again, people are like, we didn't get Sancho. We didn't get it. We need a centre-back. We need this. We need that. All right? Ollie calmly does his job, and he finds a way to work with the tools that he's got at his disposal, right? He finds a way of playing that makes the team effective. And until when he gets new players and he gets new tools, he'll adapt the style of play again. So we
Yeah,
need to
I
get him
think
back
that too,
again.
Sean. I think that too.
Yeah.
I think Ollie's style at the moment, he's playing with the tools he has. Don't get me wrong, he could play better possession-based football. And I was thinking about this last night after our reaction show.
Yeah.
I said to myself, if you think back to all the teams that win the league, they all play possession-based football. Tell me one team that wins the league consistently and what type of football they play. Am I wrong?
So you say possession-based football. I hear what you're saying. Okay. And when can you refine that a little bit more?
Oh,
Right?
please, I'd love to.
Yeah, please.
So we look at Bayern
please.
Munich, possession-based football.
Yeah.
You can't get the ball from them. You look at Real Madrid, right? Real Madrid do play possession-based football. 100% they do because they get the ball and get it straight up to the top. If you look at PSG, possession-based football, they're not counter-attacking. They're keeping the ball in your own half with Verratti, Neymar, bring it on to you. Man City won the league, possession-based football. Liverpool won the league, possession-based football. Mate, I could keep going on. So I can understand when Aiden's talking about yesterday saying that to win long-term, we need to play possession football because the DNA of a winning championship, if you go to the Dutch league, look at Ajax, possession-based football. If you go to every domestic league, the winners of that league keep the ball. And for us, we can't keep the ball. And this is where it goes into it, where we're talking about the show. The curious case of Bruno the Magnifico. Bruno Fernandes. This guy came in and saved us. He came in and took us from here to here. He was doing things that we've never seen happen for Manchester United in the last 5-8 years. It was unbelievable. He saved us. But what I'm seeing again throughout the whole Twitter and what I see after every match is that there's division on what Bruno is. You've got some fans that are saying, you can't say nothing about Bruno. He saved us. It doesn't matter if he scores an own goal, Gary. It doesn't matter. Bruno saved us. Don't say anything. I'm like, I'll just block those people because obviously they can't actually look at football properly because we're not criticizing in a bad or negative way. If someone doesn't play well, all right, tell me, I'll give you this, Sean, right? Lionel Messi got sent off a red card yesterday, right? For me, if you're getting a red card and it's a bad red card, you've not helped out your team. You cannot give Lionel Messi like a 10, a 9, or 8 because he's got sent off, right? But Lionel Messi is one of the greatest players of all time. But you can still criticize him and he'll still go home, Sean, and say, I didn't really do that well on that game. I didn't really keep my cool. I didn't really think about what I'm doing to help the team. It's the same with Bruno. Bruno is allowed to have bad games. And people know that he's allowed to have bad games. But when I see division, is people like, oh, yeah, Bruno's had a bad game, but don't say a word about him. Are you joking me? Are you joking me? I can say whatever I want about Bruno. And Bruno will go home to his lovely wife and his beautiful daughter and say, you know what? I made some errors there. For some reason, against the top 6, I'm not really bringing my level there. So I need to look back, look at the videos and improve myself. Do you see what I'm saying, Sean?
Yeah. And I do, and I wanna touch on that, and I just want to go back quickly to what you were saying about the possession, right? Because this is something I'm passionate about, and I've got interesting views on in terms of possession. Because right, you referenced Liverpool as a possession-based team.
They 100% are.
Yeah, but then I said when two teams come against each other, both teams can't dominate the ball. That one team's going to have more percent than the other. It's very rare you're going to get a game where it's 50-50, right, Dom? So when Liverpool come up against Man City, go and check the stats. More often than not, who dominates the ball in those games?
It can go either way.
No, more often than not, who dominates the game? You can check the stats if you want. But
what, Man City, if you had to guess, out of both of them?
If you had to guess, who would you say dominates the ball
right now? I'd say Liverpool.
No, I'm saying in the last. All right, let's go back in the last 6 or 7 encounters.
Okay, Man City.
There you go. Right, but you said Liverpool are a possession-based team.
They are
against 99% of the other teams. Liverpool are dominating possession, right?
Yeah.
But when they come up against Man City, they have to adapt their style.
Yeah.
And they have to sit back, and they play more on the break with fast breaks, direct football, and that has actually killed Man City in a lot of games. They were Pep's bogey team. So what I'm saying is, and I said it last night on the show, against 85-90% of the teams, we will dominate the ball and we will have more possession.
Yeah,
right.
No, but the only problem
in
is
certain games against the bigger teams, currently we don't have the tools to go toe to toe and outplay. And when we have tried to do that and come out and attack them against Man City, those are the games that we've lost. When we've sat back and contained them, we've come up and we've been able to compete with them. So it's about using what you've got.
But I understand that. But what I said in terms of possession-based teams who play good possession-based football, because you can have possession but do nothing with it, right? Which I think we are, right? Possession-based teams play 80% of your games against people outside the top six, right? That's why Bayern Munich, Man City, Liverpool, PSG, all these domestic, they win the league because they play good possession-based football. If you look at when we play teams, right, and we have possession, mate, it's never 70%, 30%. It's never. It's maybe 55, 45, 65, 35. We're never like 70 like Man City or Liverpool when you literally cannot get the ball. Right. And the second point I'm going on as well, when we're playing possession-based football, we're not actually playing progressive possession-based football. Sometimes the possession is just nothing's really happening. If you watch other teams, they'll do possession. Neymar might get the ball, draw loads of people in, then explode. And you've got win backs and you've got all these people doing it. We're not seeing that same thing. So for me, when I'm talking about possession, I'm talking about actually doing stuff with it. At the moment, I think we need to concentrate on actually having possession, because I know you're saying, yes, we dominate teams outside the top six, but we're not. The stats aren't crazy, Sean. They're not like 70% possession. They're like maybe 55, 65. And most of the teams we played below the top six, Sean, I've seen it. They've had big spells, those teams, where they can actually, they've dominated us.
I agree with you. They have like 20 minutes where they have the ball and penalty.
You don't really see that against Man City or Liverpool's. I'll be honest with you. I've watched a lot of the games. You don't see that bit when you're like, oh, Liverpool on the ropes. Not really. When they've been playing last season and that season. And that's my thing for me. And this is where we come into Bruno. I just want to talk to some people here because I'm getting really into this. Aaron, what's going on, brother? Even lads, I'm annoyed at Bruno for not turning up in big games. However, we don't play to his strengths in those big games as he's a talisman. We're going to come back to the point. I really like that. Carl, what's going on? You always come with some sharp comments. Most top teams pass sideways to move the opposition to get the team up higher. Yep. Due to Bruno's enthusiasm, we can never keep teams pinned in their half because he gives the ball. That's a very good point as well. I want to come back to that.
Kyle, we'll come back to that because he's actually touched on something we're going to look at.
Ahmed, back for the best show on YouTube, baby. I appreciate that, man.
Yeah,
nice,
baby. Ahmed. Big up the support.
Sandro, yes, OG. I'm calling Sandro OG now. Bruno doesn't shine because we set up too defensive. There's a huge gap between McFred and Bruno. He can't do much when we keep the ball. Guy's a baller. All this standard nonsense. Yeah, standard is absolute nonsense. Yes, Tim, what's going on, Buggy Vibes? Attacking players will be wasteful more often. They will always lose the ball. Daniel Lee, LA, my boy, just dropped to say this. Bruno might need some coaching, but he's the only creator out there along with Pogba. I feel if we had a Grealish or Sancho on the wings, he would be better. All right. And this is where I want to get to this point. Guys, if you're watching live or later on, please like the video. It really, really helps. And also subscribe if you're new. This is what I want to talk to, right, Sean? If we get better players, right, players, I'm not even saying better, but players that are possession-based players. Like if you look at Man City, Bernardo Silva is a possession-based player. And what I'm going to say, possession-based PBP. That's even worse. I'll just say possession-based player. That's even worse. BBB. I'm going to definitely get it wrong. But look, Bernardo Silva, he's a possession-based player, right? Silva used to play so possession-based. Kevin De Bruyne is probably the weakest possession-based player. He actually loses the ball less than Bruno, without a shadow of a doubt. But these players, for me, the reason that we're not...
Rodri, Gundogan, Rodri, all these players that keep the ball ticking.
100%. And they're taught that if you lose the ball, we can't do anything with it. If you lose the ball, you've just made someone else have to cover up for you and run and chase someone else down. You're actually making their lives harder. Keep the ball and complete that pass, and it makes your life easier because you're not chasing down balls, all right? That's a sort of tactic level. So for me, if we're playing possession-based football and I think Ollie wants to play possession-based football because who doesn't? Everybody wants the ball. But I think he needs a coach next to him, 100%, that can help and think about a different philosophy. But he also needs players that are good at keeping the ball. We haven't got the players that are good at pass completion. Can you coach these players, Sean? Can you coach Scott McTominay to complete more passes? Can you coach Fred? Can you? Yes or no?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You can coach them to be able to keep, and it's an ethos, right? Because technically, let's just get it right. when we're talking about keeping possession, these are all Premier League football players, right? These are top of their profession. If you're talking at this level, everybody knows how to make a 10-yard pass, 15-yard pass. But it's a mindset and a mentality when you look at Man City and these type of teams in terms of what are they being drilled to do on the training pitch in terms of the triangles, the patterns of play, right? I feel as though some United fans need to understand the philosophy of our DNA. We've never been an all-out possession-based
No, we haven't.
side.
We haven't.
Right? We've never been that Arsenal when the Invincibles.
No, we've never been an Arsenal.
Right?
That's a
That's
very good
never
point.
how we play. We've
Never.
never been that Barcelona.
No, we haven't.
We've never been a Man City, right?
But we still won.
But we still won, and we were the most successful team in the country. So I want to dispel this myth that you have to have 70%.
Sean, you know what?
Possession.
Say that again. Say that sentence again. We have never been.
We've never been an all-out possession-based dominating side.
100%.
We've never been that. And you don't need 70% of the ball to win. Mourinho is the perfect evidence. If you want to go to the other extreme, go and have a look at how Jose Mourinho sets up his teams and how they go out and win trophies.
Inter Milan was never possession-based.
Inter Milan was never possession-based. When he won the league with Real Madrid that season, they scored a hatful of goals, direct, counter-attacking. His Chelsea side with Robin, Duff, direct, fast attacking play, right? I would say with Manchester United, we're about fast, direct attacking play. We do want to keep possession because we need to do it, but we're not going to be in the mold of a Liverpool, in the mold of a Man City, which I feel like a lot of the younger fans, like Aiden as one, are relating to that era of it's now fashionable to play that style. Pep Guardiola has made it the fashion to play that style. And if anyone who can't play that style,
he's not seen anything else. Do you know what I mean? And I want to go into Bruno and really do a deep dive, guys. We're going to do a deep dive, and Sean, I want you to talk to this. All right, let me bring in this little bit here. Right, this is something that's been going on. Right, something that's been going on. The Bruno's big problem. Okay, Bruno's big problem. He says versus the Big Six. He's played 8 games, 656 minutes. 2 goals, 2 assists, right? This is from here, right? I think one of them was a penalty. Against the rest, okay.
I'll talk to this, yeah.
2,000 odd minutes, 17 goals, 12 assists, 190 minutes per goal. It's just chalk and cheese. What's happening here, Sean? Because we're seeing something that is a bit weird. It's a bit like Lukaku. I'm not comparing Lukaku and Bruno. Don't everybody try and say that, okay? But I'm just talking about a player. Nothing like Bruno, a player that couldn't step up in the big games. Talk to me, because we see Pogba step up in the big games, but also not really by a lot of consistency. Wait. We see Pogba step up in the big games, but not really do it consistently against the small teams. But we see Bruno do it against the small teams, but not against the big teams. Talk to me about this.
Dom, okay, man. So obviously, stats, right? We need stats. I'm a big lover of stats and data to back up what you're trying to say. But I also feel, and this is something that gets lost, stats can be manipulated. Mm-hmm. With stats, you need context, okay? Now, but you mentioned Pogba, because I'm going to bring up Pogba into this, because I was waiting for someone to do that, Dom, because you mentioned him and saying Pogba steps up in the big games, but not in the smaller games against the Big Six. Generally, so in this same period, right? 8 games, they've actually missed one out. So when I did my analysis, I went a little bit back further since Bruno came, and I included the cup games as well. So there's actually 9 appearances against the traditional Big Six, and he's got 3 goals. So I think they're looking at the league. He's got 3 goals and 2 assists in those 9 games. Conversely, Paul Pogba, who you've just said steps up in these big games. Guess how many goals and assists he's got in the same games?
Go on.
Guess.
Oh, mate, I don't know. 2.
All right. 0 goals.
Yeah.
You want to guess how many assists?
Go on.
0.5 of an assist. Half.
Yeah. What in this season? Yeah.
No, this is going back since Bruno came. Since February 2020. There's been 9 games. 0 goals for Pogba, and half an assist. I'm giving him half an assist because he won us a penalty against Spurs and Bruno put it in the top corner. But is that really an assist? Because you can't really assist your own penalties. I don't know if they give you an assist for that.
Yeah.
But from open play, 0 assists and 0 goals. What are you telling me about Pogba?
Yeah, no, it's by the way, when I said that about Pogba, I'm talking about what he does for the overall game. I'm not just talking about like, oh, he needs to score a goal, he needs to get an assist. I'm talking about his overall play. He's defending, he's bringing out the ball, he's enabling other players to play well. That's what I'm talking about. And in the top 6, I'm not seeing Bruno do that for whatever reason, because we know he's got it in his locker, but he's not even enabling people. Like yesterday, he didn't enable anyone to play.
So I want to debunk that again as well, right? Because there's this perception with Pogba and his overall play. When you look at the win percentage in those games, right? We've won, out of those 9 games, we've won 2, okay? Which gives us the team, that's a team, as a team, a win percentage of 22%. Bruno Fernandes has played in every single match, has started every single match. So his win ratio is 22%. In those games, Paul Pogba hasn't started as many. So he started 4, but he's appeared in 7. So there's only 2 games that he didn't play out of those 9, okay? Out of those 9, what would you say the win ratio is for the team when Pogba's in the team?
30%.
Interesting. 0% win ratio with Paul Pogba in the team.
Interesting.
The two victories that we won, he wasn't even in the squad, let alone on the bench. So tell me how much influence and enabling he's doing, because when he plays in the big games, out of the last 9, we haven't won a single one.
Okay, all right, that's fine. But when I look at Paul Pogba, I look at the last couple of games I've seen, and that you can only go off the last few games, because if we're going for like 3 months ago,
the calendar year, that's what.
I'm talking about. I always try to go off the last 2-3 games because that's the form that he's in, right? At that player. I'm talking about what I saw yesterday, for example, with Bruno. His game. What rating would you give, guys, in the comments? What rating would you give Bruno for yesterday's game? And be completely honest. Don't get me. I love Bruno. I respect him. For me, he's the best signing we've made in like the last 5 years, right? Without a shadow of a doubt. But you tell me.
Let me carry on.
You tell me, guys, what you think the rating of Bruno was, and I want to see what people are saying about this, because
it'd be interesting. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see.
Very interesting.
So what I'm building up is a picture here, right? Is that this whole Bruno Fernandes performance doesn't show up in the big games, penalty merchant, this, that, and the third that they're using to slander his name. It's an absolute load of nonsense, right? What I will say is the 3 goals that he has scored, Dom, they have been penalties, right? We can't dispute that. But again, these are big pressure games. In the big pressure moments, he's stepping up and scoring, right? So you can't use that as a stick to beat him over, because it was only last season before he came in, we couldn't score a penalty for dust. Rashford was missing, Pogba was missing,
everyone was missing, man. It was
Martial was missing. Everyone was missing. We didn't know who they were fighting over the ball on the pitch. So we were saying, if only we had a penalty taker. Now we've got one. He can only score penalties. So you can never win with these certain things. Bring that stat back up there in a second, bro. Because it was
let me know you want it, man.
Okay, cool. So what I'm saying is we have to look at the overall team performance, right? Bruno Fernandes, in those 9 games, guess how many goals we scored as a team?
In the 9 games we played this season?
No, in the 9 games since Bruno's come in, because I'm looking at his it's about Bruno, so I'm using
6,
it since he's come in. Yeah, top 6 games.
How many goals he scored, you say?
No, how many goals has the team scored?
In the top 6, 9 games, how many goals the team scored? Geez, that's a hard, man. If I say 12.
12. 6.
Jesus.
In Lord. 9 games. 6. Bruno Fernandes has scored 3. He scored 50% of our goals in those games. Right, in total. And guess what? He's got 2 assists on top of that, right? And you can't assist yourself for a penalty. So these are separate. So out of our 6 goals, he's contributed 5 of them. That's an 83% goal contribution ratio in the top games against the top 6.
So you're saying
are you telling me?
Since he's come in, across all the games, he's actually been our only
He's
goal
been the
scorer.
man.
So Sean, what's happening in these last games? I want to go to the
I will
comments.
tell you. I'll come on to that. The only player who's come close to him is Martial. He scored 2, and McTominay scored 1. So Martial again, he's stepping up in the big games. Rashford, 0 goals, 0 assists. Pogba, 0 goals, 0 assists. Wan-Bissaka's got more assists than Pogba, and people say he can't attack in these big games. And
So you're saying that Bruno does turn up in big games?
I'm saying that Bruno is absolutely influential in the big games, and the numbers, you cannot dispute that based on his impact on those games, right?
Yesterday was a blip.
No, I'm not saying yesterday's a blip. What I'm going to say is, and I'll come on to where I feel he can improve, because I don't think he's perfect in these games.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the reason why. Okay, so now bring that stat up. It's relevant now, right? Bring that stat up. It's relevant now. Now, if you look at these numbers, right, I would go down. I would have an analysis. So, if you look at the chances created, which is a big factor for Bruno, right? 2.3 and 3 is near enough the same. You must admit, in a game against the top 6, you don't expect to have as many big chances per 90 minutes. So I don't think there's too much wrong with that one. Again, if you look at the shots per 90 minutes, 3, 3.2, 3.6, near enough the same.
Yeah.
The big one for me there that's standing out at me is the successful passes per 90 minutes. That is a ridiculous drop-off, right? 34.
What's happening there, Sean? What do you think's happening there? Why can't he complete a pass? Is it because the bigger teams we're playing play better football? We can't, basically, when we're trying to get, it's like yesterday, when we tried to get out, we haven't got a lot of players around us to actually complete that pass.
Yeah. And that is why I said, and I think if you remember, I was saying to you at the start in the preview, we need him to take care of the football in these games, because I've seen that, and I think a lot of people are seeing this is what they're picking up on. And for me, this is the area where he can improve, because it will make us so much more efficient. It will improve our chances of success so much more, because on that transition, Dom, there's so many times he's picking it up just on the halfway line, where he's gonna make 1-2 touches to control and then release either Rashford, Martial, and you saw it on the break where he released Rashford, and Rashford should have played in Cavani, but he did some stupid ass dribble, right? Dribbled down his chin and lost the possession, right? Those are the situations where we need Bruno, instead of making that 1 in 4. Because I think for every one of those breaks where he made the pass, there was probably like 4 others where he lost the ball. And I think he just needs to, I don't know whether it's compose himself. He just needs to be conscious in those games. He has to knit the team together, and we need him to take care of the ball.
I'll tell you where Bruno needs to sort himself out, right? Because the stats show you, I don't like always looking at stats, but it's good to look at stats and just, it kind of reinforces what you're seeing on the pitch, right? On the eye test.
Or not.
When I look at Bruno, right, I see a player who is so dynamic. His brain thinks so fast. When the ball's coming, he's already decided where he's kicking that ball. And you know what? Sometimes that actually goes against him, because people might actually think, oh, I know where he might do a first-time ball, and they'll intercept it. I've seen that so many times with Bruno, when he thinks he's thought about the fastest, and a really experienced defender or midfielder's like, no, I saw that coming too, mate. Read that book.
Yeah.
Right. And he can't really quickly just change his mind, because he's really gone. He's not even looking sometimes at passes, right? So for me, Bruno has all the tools to go into. Can you believe I'm saying this? Bruno could go to a whole new level, Sean. A whole new level. And you know how he can go to a new level? By looking after the ball. This guy has transformed our team to unbelievable heights. He saved our season. Can you imagine what he could do if he starts to think, all right, I'm running down on goal. This is a counter-attack. And Sean, this has happened so many times. It's a counter-attack. He's running. He's got Martial on the right. He's got Rashford on the left. It's a through ball, right? It comes to him. He kicks it. It literally gets stopped every single time. It's either a short pass. It doesn't get through the first defender. And everybody's like, oh, but we can't say anything because it's Bruno. No, it's fine, Bruno. No problems. No problems. No, we can say something. And that's the thing. Bruno will be trying to figure out, people are understanding what I'm doing. With Greenwood, right, the brother can't score because people know he's going to do a step over and go on his left. Every time he gets in the box, Sean, there's 3 people around him.
Yeah.
There never used to be 3 people around him. Never.
Mate.
He can't get a shot away. He can't.
Tom, that's Matt. They need one to cover his left foot, one to cover his right, and one to cover the middle. That's respect to him.
That's the same with Bruno. People are understanding how Bruno plays. He likes to play these first-time balls. He likes to do these dinks. He likes to do these flicks. Bruno can do those stuff, but I promise you, he will look. You know, when he first started, Sean, he actually wasn't losing the ball as much as he's losing the ball now. I don't know if he's trying too hard or he's trying to force it, but the amount of times yesterday when I said to myself, all right, Bruno, we were saying it on the watch along. Bruno, now just keep the ball, my brother. You've done your good. Pass it, move. Pass it, move. He'll lose the ball.
Yeah.
And this is where the frustration comes with the fans, where people are a bit angry or what's happening. Because you know what? Someone said something about possession based, and I want to talk to you about it. Because
what are the comments saying?
Said that we don't. Who said it about you? You said that we don't play possession based football. It might have been Physio D. Let me see if I can find this.
What are the comments saying? I'd be interested to see what.
Yeah, let's go through it. I might just find it if I go.
Agreeing or whether people are disagreeing. What are
so
thoughts?
Aaron said that Bruno played 3 out of 10, and that's at his standard because Bruno has put such a high standard. Yeah. So look, because he set a high standard of 8 to 10 at every game, but last night was a shambles. Yep. Yeah. What we talking about here? 6 rating, easy. That's only because of the standard he set. Man, he didn't play so bad. Yeah, it is. Buggy 5s. Bruno 7, his standards have been so ramped up. He is so average, but because of the standard, many will see it as been poor. Rashford potential was not good too. Yeah, so basically his standards gone so high that when he had a game like yesterday, people think, "Oh my gosh, that was terrible." No one's saying he was shambolic or terrible yesterday. He just set a bar so high that when he's not doing it, people were like, "This guy, what's happening?"
The expectation is there that he's going to pull a rabbit out of the hat for us every game.
Yeah, and that's
when he doesn't, people are getting on him. But we've just shown how influential and crucial he is for us, even in the big games. He's the only player doing anything.
I think it was. I think Carl Lewis actually said. I don't know, if it wasn't Carl, I apologise. But someone said, "Wait a minute, we did play possession football because we had Scholes, Carrick, and those guys. So how is that not possession football?" What do you say back to that?
All right, I'll just say, check out the Champions League finals against Barcelona and see how much possession we had in those games.
I can't remember who said that. Someone said about possession. We had Carrick and all those guys. Sean,
we never dominated possession against Liverpool.
We do aspire to be a possession-based team because I like my team. But do we aspire to be a possession-based team? Yes, because I like my team to keep the ball. I appreciate LVG for doing that. Only God knows how good he'll do at current team. I'm so glad he's brought up LVG because
I'm happy he brought up LVG as well.
This links in Bruno and stuff because I tell you right now, let me just put this out there. If LVG couldn't tame Bruno, I don't think he'll play him. I don't think
You know what? I feel like with LVG, he always allow one guy in his team to have that creative freedom. Because if you remember, Di Maria came in and he was that guy. He was the guy who was allowed to come in and have a bit of freedom. But LVG, again, he was the master of possession football, but he was putting everyone to sleep with that possession football. People like it's taking us 100 passes to get out of our penalty box. They weren't happy with bashing Schweinsteiger every 2 minutes and then spinning around doing a pirouette and passing the ball backwards. Right? That's not Man United. They're saying it's not the Man United DNA. The Man United DNA is what Ollie is bringing. It's a mixture of possession, but we're never going to be the best possession-based team. But it's a mixture of possession against 90% of the teams. We can hold our own, but it's a mixture of that with fast, direct, electric breaks. Look at the 1-2s with Ronaldo up and down the pitch. That is Man United.
You know what it is? You know what? I think when people say, "Oh, we're not a possession-based team," is that we're saying, "Okay, we're never going to keep the ball." No, it's not. It's saying that the main attribute or the main sort of style of play is not possession-based football. It's attacking, quick, different variations of getting up the pitch. It's not triangles. Like Manchester United, there's a reason why over the last 4 managers, we've never played triangles. We don't do those triangles when you've got that swarm. We don't do that. I think the only time that would ever happen is maybe if Klopp came, El Pep, and said, "Look, I know you got a style, but this is my style. We keep the ball." But I tell you right now, if Pep came and managed Manchester United, the players we have would not be here anymore.
Nah, he'd have to buy
Dan
a
James would not be here. Dan James wouldn't be here for a fact. We wouldn't be playing Aaron Wan-Bissaka. My gosh, that guy would be, I don't know, selling newspapers, right? He would not be anywhere near that right back place. He would be gone. Luke Shaw, based on his form now, he would stay because he's like a Kyle Walker. He's dynamic, he's powerful, but he would tell him to go forward more. Who would else not be? Scott McTominay wouldn't be playing. Nowhere near that midfield.
No.
Who else? No. Playing? Martial would be there, 100%. I think he would buy Martial. Rashford, I don't think you start Rashford. Rashford.
I think, do you know what? He would turn Rashford
into Sterling,
different football player.
3.0, Sterling 3.0.
Yeah, it's Sterling 3.0. He would just destroy his game. I don't know about it. Although it would refine Rashford. I feel like he would refine Rashford's game and use his strengths and improve him because he's quite good at doing that with those kind of players.
You know what, right? Bruno is starved of possession and we don't get the ball to him enough. He needs to play deeper as an 8. You know what? I don't know if it's that, Rowan. And I hear you, man. I don't know if it's that. I think it's something a bit bigger. And I think it's the whole team setup and the dynamic of how we play football and how we decide to play football because
it's a team.
It's a team game. People keep thinking
it's a team and it's a tactics. Right?
100%. People keep thinking that way. Okay, Bruno's not playing that well, so it's got to be all on Bruno. It doesn't really work like that. And that's why it's a team game. You're only as strong as your weakest link. Do you know what I'm saying? You have to think about, okay, if Bruno's not having a great game in the big 6, why is that? We need to change it around. We need to try and get the ball more. Or when we do get the ball, because yesterday, even Ollie came out and said, look, we need the ball more. We will not get in the ball more. Like, for me, for Ollie to come out and say that shows you that Ollie's thinking to himself, okay, we need to actually try and change this now. I want to see progression. Against the big 6, we always do counter-attacking football, or we're waiting for a mistake, or we get our little sort of 30-minute cameo bit when we're like on it, but then we got to capitalize. He wants to control the whole game. And I don't see us controlling a big 6 team. Well, we can control a big 6 team, but I mean like the top 2, top 3, how we want to until we get better players in. Honestly, until we get better players in, we cannot do what everybody wants us to do. We can't do that yet. And I think if we get someone on the right who's a right winger, Nagy said this yesterday, if we get someone who's a dedicated right winger, we will play better football. Without a shadow of a doubt, we will.
Who would you get?
Honestly, mate, I would get Sancho all day. I muted it. I muted the word Sancho for January because I don't want to hear anything about rumours. I don't want to hear anything. But I would take Sancho all day long. You know what I said? I tweeted Sean yesterday, right? I said Sancho on that that Rashford chance, right? He would have laid that off to Cavani so quickly. And you know when you don't know that he lays it off because he does it like last minute and just kind of like
those little and Haaland just wraps it in.
Yeah, just wraps it. Like Cavani, Sean, did you see Cavani in the replay?
He went nuts.
Was livid.
He was screaming at Ollie. He's like, "What's this guy doing? Do you see him?" He turned around and looked at Ollie. He's like, he was
honestly. And this is why I get Sean. This is why I understand why people are like play Matic, play Van de Beek in CDM because we will retain the ball better. We have a set of players in our team who are naturally better at keeping the ball. Van de Beek, 100%. Matic, 100%. Scott McTominay and Fred, Bruno, Rashford, they lose the ball. It's just not in them to complete passes for whatever reason, whether they need coaching, whether that's not in their style of play. Martial is good at keeping the ball. These are the players. So if we start to fill in those gaps, right, that means we take Rashford out of the right and put someone who can keep the ball. Sancho. That means that if we've got a CAM and we want to keep the ball, but this is not me saying take Bruno out, but most CEMs don't always keep the ball that much. It's because we've got so many players around Bruno who's losing the ball too. Do you know what I mean? If we had more players around Bruno who were keeping the ball, and Bruno was the only one losing it all the time, no one would care. But we've got loads of players around him that are losing the ball too. So we're like, oh, Jesus, so someone just keep the ball.
Yeah.
Just keep
the ball. Like going back to that Rashford chance, I was speaking to a Tottenham supporter, and they were like, Harry Kane, he's playing that into Cavani. He's playing that pass. So I'm thinking to myself, Why did not Rashford not do it? I was trying to think. Did he not see it? Did he not think he could pull it off, or did he actually want to go through and score himself? Because then he could have passed it to Pogba, and he's still trying to beat Fabinho. And I'm just like, no, Marcus, come on, you're not He-Man. Like, sort it out, bro.
I honestly don't think if Ollie had his choice, he would be like, no, even if we got transfer window, I want to play McFred. I honestly don't believe it. I don't. What manager would not want the best players for that position?
I agree. He's setting the team up the best way he can to get results right now.
Yeah,
and
but then the argument is, why is he not set up with Matic and Van der Beek, and then Bruno ahead of them, who we know lose the ball? Why is he not doing that? That's the difference. That's the question that people need answering. Why is he not doing that?
Matic and Van der Beek, there's not enough energy and legs in that midfield with those two together. They're both cart horses. Matic can't run.
I would say Van der Beek has got a lot of energy though, bro.
Man. He's a cart horse, Dom.
I think he's got a lot of energy though, man. I think he's good.
Nah, he's slow, bro. McTominay is quicker than him. McTominay gets across the ground quicker than him. Fred gets across the ground quicker. It's the intensity that they play at. Van der Beek doesn't play at the same intensity to recover the ball.
All right, what about Fred and Matic? Why does that not work, that pairing? Because if I know Fred doesn't keep the ball as much, but if Matic helps him, and then we got people keeping the ball, and then Bruno can be afford to make these mistakes. Why is that not working? Because Fred and Matic.
I think the two left footers there. It's too much of an imbalance in the midfield to play both of them. Yeah, because none of them, they're so left footed. So there's no balls going to be going out to the right if you play those two. They're so one footed, Fred and Matic.
Yeah, I honestly
it's not balanced.
I honestly think we would not be like this, because obviously this show is about the curious case of Bruno Fernandes. We're so torn, like, we can't critique him. Of course we can critique him. He's any other player. He's just one of our best players, 100%. People critique Ronaldo. People critique Messi. People critique Kevin De Bruyne. Like they do. There's nothing wrong with critiquing Bruno in the right way and hoping he improves his game, because he's one of our best and most influential players. Again, I will say it, guys, that Bruno needs people around him who can keep the ball. And that will actually be a little bit infectious, Sean. If people are keeping the ball and Bruno gets it, he's like, oh, I don't want to mess up this like 7 or 8 passing pattern here. I don't want to be that guy. I might just knock it off and wait for a really good 99% chance I'm going to make that through ball. We haven't got people around him that are doing that. So, Sean, for me, I can see something happening, right? And I'm going to remember this, Sean. We're going to buy some more position-based players, and all of a sudden, people are going to say, yeah, see, I knew Ollie was a position-based footballer. I knew he had it in him. He just needed the players. Honestly.
Losers, mate. It will happen, and it's a joke, man. Yeah, it will happen. It will happen. Next season, when we sign a couple more players, we see the style evolve again, then they will get blowing smoke up Ali's backside.
I think people were saying about when you said about Van der Beek and Matic. Sean, this is not FIFA. Matic uses intelligence to hide his lack of pace.
Nice comment, Carl. Cheers.
Carl cracks me up. Yeah, he's
a joker, man. I like Carl. Wait.
Last time Donny played with Scott, he had more tackles, duels won than Scott. Oh, really? Trust me, we need players with skills, not sliding on the knees before the kids in the patch. No, Oren. You know what, Oren, right? This is what I want to do.
I love that, man.
This is what I want to do, right? And I don't think Ollie's going to do it because he's so committed to making sure that he nullifies as much risk as possible, right? I would try out Matic and Van der Beek more. There's games where we could have tried it out a bit more, isn't there, Sean? There are games where we could try it out a bit more.
Which combination do you want to try out?
Van der Beek and Matic.
Van der Beek and Matic. No, mate, I don't want to see that midfield.
But why
can't have two cart horses in the midfield?
But why not give it a chance?
They're cart horses, Dom. They can't run.
All right.
Between the pair of them, they can't run.
So you're telling me there's not been CDM partnerships, bot-to-bot CDM partnerships, where they're not very fast and they haven't been effective?
I'm saying in this game, in this era, for me, I'm not saying that. I'm saying you need legs in the midfield. We need legs and energy in the center of the park. That is the foundation, right, and energy. And I think if you've got Matic as intelligent as incisive as those players are, between them, there's no legs there. You're going to get overrun. Wijnaldum, Thiago, Henderson, they'll be buzzing around them all day. Can't have it. I do not want to see those two playing.
Bucky Van said, well, Matic and VDB played vis Bakashir, and we were easily dominated in midfield.
There you go.
That's the point there, isn't it? I'm just trying to look at both. I'm trying to look at ideas, man. In honesty, right? I don't want to play Van der Beek at a CDM or box to block next to Matic. I know he can play there, Sean. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. I know at Ajax they teach different positions, but why not play him in his best position? His best position is darting through and going ending up in the box and being that second striker. He's
intelligent
so
runs.
He's
so clinical. Gets his
what I'm saying? And yesterday, you know what I noticed yesterday, right? And this all kind of relates to Bruno and how I feel Bruno's. He's getting more hard words than he needs to. 100%. He needs to be critiqued 100%, but don't say, "Oh, what is Bruno?" No, because
Dom, we've just cleared that out. We put that to bed. We brought out the numbers. We brought out the stats.
Yeah,
we put that whole nonsense to bed.
He's part of the team. The game was hard yesterday, but it was not just Bruno; it was the whole team. Listen to this, right? I saw this in the game, right? You know, against Leeds, I know we're not playing Leeds. I know we're not, right? But Leeds play obviously quite attacking, progressive football, right? Ollie said, because we're playing Leeds, Scott McTominay and Fred, I'm allowing you to go forward, okay? You're going forward. What I kept seeing yesterday, which I did not like, is every time we went forward, we got into the corner post or in the box, no one was there.
Yeah.
How are we supposed to do anything if no one is there? Crosses were coming in, no one was there. And I'll try and look where Scott McTominay and Fred were. Mate, they were near enough. They were waiting for the ball to come back. So who's telling them to do that? Is that them being scared, or is that Ollie saying you can't go forward in this game? You got to rely on the four people in front of you to score goals. Who's saying that?
I personally believe that was a tactical setup, because we've seen it when they you know, McTominay's natural tendency is to go forward, right? That's he used to be a striker. He can finish. He likes to score goals. Yeah. So for me, Ollie was very fearful of being hit on the break, and he didn't want to go for it yesterday. He set up the team to be solid, and it was like, you two screen. So we had McTominay was covering Wan-Bissaka on the right-hand side against Mane, and he had Fred helping out Luke Shaw against Salah on the other side. So for me, that was a tactical setup, and he didn't want to unleash them.
I like this. Oren saying that Fred and Scott were scored by Thiago first 25 minutes. The streets will never forget. If you watch those watch along, guys, Sean was literally, I think he's going to buy a Thiago t-shirt. He was like, this guy. Because Sean, was, just like all of us, we can appreciate ballers. We tried to get Thiago with David Moyes. Like, he is a baller. Like, I remember playing him on FIFA loads of seasons back. And he was a young youth, just like Coutinho when no one knew about him. Thiago is just such a player. If we had Thiago, right, I think Bruno would play better. Bruno would play better because we've got a possession-based footballer. If we had Thiago, who would you put next to Thiago at Manchester United? If we had Thiago, who would you put next to him? Think carefully.
So if we had Thiago in the base, that means we've got one midfield player position.
4-2-3-1. 4-2-3-1.
Do you know what? I would vary it. There'll be different games.
No! Don't stop this stupidness. Don't tell me you vary it, man.
There's games I'll play Fred with him. So it will be Fred, Thiago, and Bruno. And then there'll be certain games against the weaker teams where you can put Pogba in there, and you can have Thiago sitting, Pogba doing his number 8 role, and then Bruno in 10. Pardon?
Is Thiago CDM?
Yeah, Thiago is a central midfield player. He can go forward and he can attack.
But is he a CDM?
He can do anything. He could do it all in midfield.
But is he a CDM?
He's everything in the midfield.
Is he a CDM?
No, Dom, I don't analyze players like that. I look at their attributes and what they can bring on a football pitch. I'm not just putting you into box. Are you a CDM or not? No. What can you bring to the football pitch? Can you dribble? Can you tackle? What's your awareness like? Then? What's your technique like? What's your positioning like? What's your Matic can play defensive midfield because of his attributes.
What's De Gea?
De Gea, Dom. What are you asking me this crap for, mate?
What's De Gea?
Where you go? We're not going to do that.
De Gea playing midfield.
We're not going to do that.
You're not going to
We're
put De
not
Gea
gonna
in the
do
box. You can
We're
say
not
De
gonna do
Gea.
that.
Go forward if you want, mate.
We're not going to do that because it's a different position.
No,
Midfield,
sure. Ask my question,
midfield and defence.
what is Thiago? Is he a CM or a
Dom.
CDM? Just
What
ask
was
me.
Roy Keane? What was Roy Keane?
Oh my God. Why are you not answering my question? Is
What was
Thiago?
Roy Keane? What was Roy Keane?
All right, Sean, answer this then, right? What is
was Roy
Aaron
Keane?
Wan-Bissaka?
What was Roy Keane?
Oh, you are rubbish, guys. You just see it. Sean absolutely does this. You won't even answer my question. You don't even know what Thiago is, do you?
What is Roy Keane?
Oh, you are something else. Guys, please tell me what Thiago is. Fucking vibes.
Tom, tell me what Roy Keane was.
CDM. You know what? Ronan's saying Donny can do what Thiago does. Oh, I don't know, Ronan.
Sorry, mate.
I don't know, Ronan. You know what,
mate.
Ronan, right? I haven't seen enough of Donny to see. I can't see that. But from what I've seen Thiago, I don't think he could do it. Only because Thiago doesn't play far forward like Donny does. He used to in his younger days, but now he sits back and he's like an orchestra. He's just like what do you call those people that do the orchestra?
The conductor.
Conductor. He's just conducting.
That's
He's
the
like,
word
all right,
looking for.
here's the bass, strings, violin, cello. Now, he's a conductor, whereas Donny's not a conductor for me. Donny is a workhorse with so much skill, and he'll go up and down that pitch. He'll make space, and he'll do it. What we saying, Cobb? What's going on, my brother? Sean is making some great points. Issue with Bruno is he is so influential. If he has a bad game, honestly, Cobb, I don't need to read the rest of it because I completely agree. He is so influential. If he has a bad game, the whole team has a bad game. So big teams nullify him, and then all the creativity goes with Bruno. That's exactly what it is, and that's what makes Pogba look better as well. You know, Pogba's a world beater because Bruno's kind of nullified, and he's getting pressed so quickly. Yesterday, did you see him, Sean? Bruno had the ball in the right hand. He had three players around him, couldn't do nothing. They just swarmed him because players know that Bruno is the player to watch out for.
And you know what I'd like, and he's never going to have it, but I wish he had a little yard of pace because it would help him. Because when he gets man marked, his lack of pace at the moment, he's struggling to get away from guys.
Well, you don't think Bruno's fast?
The one difference I look at with De Bruyne is deceptively his acceleration over 5-10 yards gets him away from people. And I think that's the only difference when I look at him and Bruno is that yard of pace that De Bruyne has. It makes such a difference. And if only Bruno had it, he would be unplayable.
What position does Bruno play, Sean?
What position does Roy Keane play?
Sean, what are you doing? Just tell me what position Bruno plays.
What position does Roy Keane play?
Oh my God.
We're not going to do this game, Dom. We know we don't play those games with me, brother.
Why can't you just tell me what position Bruno plays?
Why don't you answer your own question?
Is he a right forward? Is he a wing back? Is he playing goal?
Why don't you answer your own question?
Oh, you are
instead of asking me questions.
Honestly, all I asked you is what is Thiago, and you didn't tell me what he is. That's I literally asked you what position he is.
I told you he's a midfielder.
Yeah, is he a CM, a CDM?
And he's a central midfield player. He can attack and defend.
So he's a CM.
Central midfielder, yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
He's a central midfield player.
That's what I'm asking.
And defend.
That's all I've been asking. So, with Thiago being a CM, who do you put next to him as a CDM?
I told you already.
Who? No, don't tell me, Fred. Some games.
I told you.
Mate, you would never be a coach, man. You are rubbish. You'll be like, hello, mate. Hello, Jeremy.
I'll be the best coach. You have to adapt, Dom. You can't just be stuck.
Yeah, I know you have to adapt. I'm telling you, if you've got a first team 11, right, who you playing next to Thiago, mate? That's what I'm asking you.
And I'm saying right now, we haven't got a player who I would stick him in against every single match.
Matic.
Apart from Bruno.
You wouldn't put it with Matic? Thiago, Matic and Bruno?
I've told you, Fred, Thiago, or Pogba and Thiago. That's my midfield combo. Matic don't come into it.
Matic doesn't, but he's our only recognised CDM though, mate.
And I would let Thiago do that job.
Okay, so you think Thiago's
why do I need both of them? I like the energy that Fred will bring. I like instead of Matic with Thiago. I think those two, Fred and Thiago together, boss. No one's getting through that.
Guys,
getting through that.
Like the video if you're watching it. Subscribe if you're new. We appreciate you. We just love chatting to you guys and talking about football because it means so much to us, man. This lockdown in UK is just going from bad to worse in terms of all the numbers, and I hope everybody's staying safe. We just want to enjoy it, and we got Fulham coming up. We're going to do a 15-minute preview tomorrow. for the Fulham game. And don't forget to watch the match reaction as well from yesterday's game, because we had some serious opinions on that match reaction yesterday. But it was a serious. We had
I'm still trying to get over it, bro.
Honestly,
I'm trying to get over the negativity.
Honestly, it was
after a result like that.
I started off with a lot of positivity, because I was like, look, in a situation we are, and I tweeted it, we have to take the positives from this, because we're still a team in development, and we're not the finished article. So how can we, even if they've got 2 centre backs that weren't playing, how can we just say, oh yeah, we should be smashing Liverpool? It just makes no sense.
It's crazy. Tom, imagine if we'd lost that game. Can you imagine the reaction then?
Bruno, Thiago plays a CDM for Bayern, and Grosso is a workhorse. There you go. He's answering a question for you, mate.
Kyle answered your question, not my question.
Whatever.
That was your question.
You couldn't answer.
I'll answer my own question.
Bruno, not influential. Our formation is old school. Nobody else uses 10s. Nobody else uses 10s. Let me think about this.
I don't know.
Nobody else uses 10s. Man City uses 10s. But they use Kevin De Bruyne, right?
I think I know what he's saying, though. He's saying that.
10s.
Yeah, and again, the position of a 10 has actually changed. Because you remember back in the day, a 10 used to be a goal scorer. It used to be your Van Nistelrooy. It used to be your second striker.
I'm gonna go pay
your Dennis Bergkamps.
Yeah.
Right. Your Gianfranco Zolas.
Yeah.
Those guys were your proper number 10s. The number 10 now, it's changed more to this new. It's too much FIFA era. This, what they call it, a cam, a CD. This is what you're trying to do. You're making it all acronyms, mate. Number 10 is a second striker. He's got to score at least 15 to 20 goals a season.
Yeah, he's saying
they don't have them anymore. It's changed.
Nobody else uses 10s. When you do that, everything needs to go through him, because every other midfielder has to play deep to cover the 10. That's so true. We see that with Scott and Fred. They weren't going anywhere near that box. If Scott McTominay gets the ball 5 times in front of that box, he's getting a shot on target 100%. He's just good at finishing. We've seen Scott McTominay score some absolute belters. But you know what? Ronald's asking you, do you think it was a good result, the game yesterday? I do think it's definitely a good result. And the context of that being how good Liverpool have been, and how consistent that they've been, and the fact that they're the only team that we haven't beaten in the last 12 months of the calendar year of 2020. They're the only team that we didn't beat them. Last year at Anfield, we got beat 2-0 and we were never really in the game. And I felt like, as much as I'm disappointed, the fact that we should have won that game, and I really went into it so confident that we could win it, and we had the chances to win it, I was a little bit disappointed. But take away that part of it, going to Anfield in any season and getting a draw is never a bad result. Let me tell you what Gary Neville says, and this is in line with what we've been saying this whole time and on the match reaction. Go and check it out. He said to rewrite history and suggest that Man United can go to Liverpool and dominate. Scholes and Keane couldn't do that at Anfield, playing against average players, let alone who won the league and Champions League. People are thinking that, they had 2 centre-backs out. We should be absolutely destroyed. It doesn't work like that. Liverpool are one of those people, right? You can call them a pair of slippers. You know, when you're inside, you want to keep your feet warm. You want a pair of nice slippers, right? They have got the team working at such a good, efficient rate that whoever puts on those slippers, they can perform. They can perform. It's a system. It's a system of making sure that people know how Klopp wants to play. Klopp was bitter yesterday. Sean, did you see that tweet that I put out about Klopp? What he said?
Nah, which one? What did he say?
Oh my gosh, I have to show you what Klopp said. This is. I want to get your thoughts on this, guys.
I saw his post match. He was.
Oh my god, did you not see what he said?
When you got 11 players 11 good players that just come to defend, it's hard to win. I saw that. The worst
thing you can face in football. This is Klopp saying this. The worst thing you can face in football is playing against a side with world-class players, and they all defend with what they have. This is really difficult, mate. That is a slap in the face. He's saying that you Manchester United, you are whack. He's literally that was salty, man.
But you know what I like about that comment though? It shows we're getting to him.
Oh, of course we are.
We're getting to him.
Of course we are.
And you know what?
Yeah.
Last season or last 2 years, is he ever going to be talking about Man United? He didn't care about us. He didn't care about us.
Now, normally he'll
for
be saying,
me,
"Oh yeah, they got world-class players, but yeah, I'm really happy with the point and or with the 3 points." But now he's like, "Oh, you know what? Aaron's not-" you know, like Home Alone, he's like, "Marv, do you know what I mean?"
Yeah, mate, he's not happy at
so
all.
salty,
So
man.
we're getting to it, man. I love comments like that. We just got to keep doing what we're doing.
Yeah,
Don't watch that. Do our own thing and keep climbing that table.
that's it, guys. Don't forget to smash a like on the video.
Yeah.
Subscribe if you're new. Tomorrow will be the match preview for the Fulham game, which we will win, and I'm going to tell you how we win in 15 minutes. It's simple. I don't want no complicated stuff. It's Fulham. I don't care. And don't forget to check out our match reaction of the previous game as well. That was really good. We had a Liverpool fan turn up after the game and said some really interesting things about where Manchester United are as a team. He's an avid Liverpool supporter, and I think you'll really, really enjoy that. But no, I'm happy in the sense that we're moving forward, man. We're progressing. What's saying here? What we saying? Both teams get punched, not taking the chances. RG Patrick, yeah, I'll tell you that, man. I respect that, RG. They did get. We did not take our chances, but we will against Fulham. Guys, watch me say this now. If we will beat Fulham. We will be, and I'm not usually that confident, and I don't want to say it and say it. We will beat Fulham. Sean, I'm saying it. And
Tom,
this
game's worrying me. It's got banana skin written.
No, Sean. Come on, you're better than that, man. You're
just
telling me that
banana skin written.
You're going to tell me that Santa Claus is not real soon, man. Forget that, man. We're winning on Fulham. We're going to have a good time, guys. Smash a like, subscribe to the video. We love you. We appreciate you. Thank you for all the regulars that keep coming on. Honestly, I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
I'm Dominic. This is Sean. Follow us on Twitter, United Source MUFC, and Grow Football for Sean. Have a lovely evening. We'll speak to you tomorrow. Thanks so much for joining Monday Night Source. Back every Monday at 7. Boom.